Welcome back, YouTubers. I am Jason Wordsma. That is Travis Ray. This is Tankers Fantasy Football. And as promised, we are back to give you wide receiver deep sleepers for your upcoming fantasy season, baby. And a lot of these guys, you know, they're going double-digit round. That's what I like to talk about. Deep sleepers. We're going to lead it off with a guy in Tyler Lockett, who is right now going after the 15th round. He's not even on that fantasy calculator average draft list. So I'm saying he's going after the 15th round here. You know, you look at it, you know, Jimmy Graham's out of town. He's leaving 96 targets behind. Paul Richardson's out of town. He's leaving 80 targets behind. So we're talking about 176 targets that need to have a name onto them. And I'm just not sure if that name's going to be Brandon Marshall and Jaron Brown. I think it's more likely we get some Tyler Lockett out of this.
And not only is this guy actually seeing a better opportunity with Paul Richardson out, but this is a guy who last year, even though he played, Pete Carroll says was not healthy all season. So here's a guy finally looking like he's 100%. He's shown flashes as a rookie that he not only was a very effective returner, but could really stretch the field far. And a guy like Russ, I feel like they are still going to run the offense through him, and they're going to be looking to chuck it at least 40 times a game.
Their defense definitely any fucking better up there in Seattle.
Losing Sherman now, if Sherman was anything,
Michael
Thomas
Bennett's
is holding
gone.
out.
Michael Bennett's gone. Sherman's gone. I mean, who the hell else?
Yeah, Earl Thomas holding out.
Cam Chancellor still in town?
He's still there, but I don't know.
I mean,
this is not the Legion of Doom anymore
this
by
is
any means.
Not yo daddy's Legion of Boom out there. This is a new era. This isn't even the Seahawks Division 2 win anymore. I think they're going to have to huck it, chuck it football as much as they did last season. And with those 176 open targets, you got to think a guy who's going to be starting almost every down, of the way of, you know, if you take Pete Carroll for his word, and Tyler Lockett, and you got to think that guy's got to scoop up at least half to 100, you know, at least a little over half of those targets. And if that's the case, we could be looking at a very solid flex play in Tyler Lockett, and he's going after the 15th round, baby.
All right, talking of hug it, chuck it football, let's go to Detroit. We're going to get Galladay here. Showing some flashes, showing some explosiveness last year. This is a guy who's getting drafted right around 12th round, maybe back end of the 11th. They're looking to have more 3 wide receiver sets here. In another year of maturation, I don't think Marvin Jones by any means is a guy that he should be afraid of to overtake at the number 2 spot.
Yeah, like we said in the other video, new coaching staffs, they don't owe anybody anything out there. Kenny Galladay starts showing his sexiness, starts you know, showing the coaching staff what he can do. And, you know, they're not just going to not run him out there. Patricia's not an idiot. I mean, I think they're going to run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets anyway. You look at it, the guy had, what, 43 receptions. 28 receptions for 477 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only played 473 snaps, so at least he had more yards than snaps played. So as a rookie who really didn't do much after week 1 last year, he still had some all-right production. And they said he's looking strong in OTAs, and I think he can carve his ass out a role in this Detroit offense.
I mean, there's really no other guy on the outside besides Marvin Jones. Even though Tate is going to be the heavy favorite in reception targets, he's pretty much strictly over the middle at this point and getting bubble screens and things like that. So if they were looking for a guy who's to truly be on that outside playmaker, I really feel like it's going to be this guy.
Absolutely. We are going down to the desert out to Arizona, where Christian Kirk, who was a guy who's going to the 6th pick in these 13th rounds of these 12-team PPR drafts. I mean, I think all signs point to old Christian Kirk, rookie Christian Kirk, opening the season opposite Larry Fitzgerald as a starting wide receiver.
I agree. I think this is a guy, as a rookie, is going to show immediate value in PPR leagues. He did have some issues off the field, but still, there is not much competition whatsoever in Arizona.
John Brown gone.
If they've got a competent quarterback, which they do, if he's healthy.
John Brown gone.
All the J Browns.
All the J Browns are out of town, baby.
And we know they don't throw it to tight ends.
Get down. Listen,
David Johnson's thinking about holding out. You see that?
I think he is. I mean, he's only owed $1.8 million this upcoming season.
I still don't like it, though.
I think I'd hold out, too. I mean, Cardinals want to win football games. You better be paying his ass. I mean, I could see if he was getting into that $5-6 million range, you'd be like, come on, David. But $1.8 million for a top 4 running back talent in the NFL is just some...
He missed all last season. He missed the tail end of the season before. I don't know. I feel like he should go out there and earn his money a little bit. I mean, keep in mind, David Johnson lives 15 minutes away from us.
Oh, David Johnson.
Clinton, Iowa, baby.
Went to school with my wife's coworkers. So, I mean, this guy is around here.
My grade at the school right next to ours, 10 minutes away.
I own him in keeper league, and I don't think that he's the type of guy to hold out into a season. I think he's just kind of trying to make his voice heard by not showing up for mandatory camps or whatever we're talking about. And training camp isn't going to open for a few more weeks. I don't think he's the type of guy that would necessarily hold out for training camp. He just had a baby last year. You can't just start pissing all your money away, baby. You got to show up eventually and start collecting checks.
All right, let's get a guy. We're talking, this is deep, but if Julian Edelman, who they apparently don't know what he's getting suspended for because they don't know what substance it was they're suspending him for.
Is that TB12 fucking hocus pocus, dude? They're giving him some fucking unidentifiable fucking physical enhancements out there, aren't they? It's got to be some weird PED, something that this Guerrero or whatever his name is cocked up. Yeah, giving him the old antler spray.
If Edelman's looking to still miss those games, we're looking at Jordan Matthews here, who's going, like we've said, undrafted in these calculator leagues, which is only the first 15 rounds. So this guy's looking like a 17th, 18th round pick. Jordan Matthews a few years ago had 1,000 yards under his belt in his season in Philadelphia.
And the guy has always been good in the slot. He has 20 career touchdowns under his belt, most of those for Philadelphia coming out of the slot. So and Edelman's going down with these 4-game suspension. I think Chris Hogan isn't necessarily a slot receiver. I think he's more of an outside guy. Amendola's out. Brandon Cooks is out of town as well.
There's always the Gronk injury concerns as well.
Yeah, so I think Jordan Matthews has a very good chance to open the season as the main slot guy for the New England Patriots. And if that's the case, this draft position is sexy.
Malcolm Mitchell at this point, I don't think has gained any ground on anyone.
He just can't get over these injuries. He hasn't been on the football field in a very long time. Moving on, we're going to go out to San Diego.
Or Los Angeles,
I'm not necessarily in love with in Mike Williams, but he is going that 9th pick of the 12th round. Hunter Henry is out for the year, and the only other real dominant weapon they even have on the passing game is Keenan Allen. So, I mean, these targets got to go somewhere. I mean, they can't throw it to Keenan Allen every fucking play, can they?
Well, they can try. I mean, they could very well try. It's pretty much going to be a lot of Keenan Allen, a lot of dump-offs to Melvin Gordon. But Hunter Henry is the main guy across the middle. He's gone. And Mike Williams, he might, even though he's a big receiver, he might see himself over the middle a little more than not, just because Tyrell is kind of the guy who they have stretching the field. Keenan Allen will play a lot in the slot, but he has shown that he can play anywhere on the field.
Mike Williams might get to step up more in the red zone also with Hunter Henry out of play. So in these standard leagues that favor touchdowns a lot more, I think Mike Williams' value is even higher than it would be in a PPR.
All right, get a guy we kind of touched earlier when talking about Tyler Lockett. We'll get a guy, Paul Richardson, coming from Seattle to Washington. Alex Smith, who at one time was an elite fantasy play last year to start the season.
Oh, my God. Visions of grandeur.
I mean, we're going to see. I mean, last year we're looking at over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. The guy's still only like 26 years old.
He had the 16 yards per catch last year, which is a very good average. Yeah, the guy's only 26 years old. I don't have faith in Josh Doxson. At least a guy like Paul Richardson has shown us he's capable of some kind of production, as he did last year with the over 40 receptions for the 700 yards and the 6 touchdowns. I think this is the type of guy, I think he's going to be on the field every single down. I mean, if that's the case,
they paid him to be.
He's going 6th pick in the 14th round. So I mean, if this guy's going to be an every down player in the 14th round,
you're talking about possibly the #1 wide receiver on a team getting drafted in the 14th round. And we're not talking a guy like Tyrod Taylor throwing in the ball. No knock on Tyrod, but he's not a guy who can by any means throw it 40 to 50 times a game. Alex Smith, he produced like a top 5 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill last year.
Yeah, produced Travis Kelce, produced Tyreek Hill, and Jordan Reed. You know, he's going to be out there stealing targets for as long as he's healthy and
he's
can
never
maintain
played
the
more
field.
than 14 games in the season, so it's going to happen. He's going to miss time.
Paul Richardson, I think, is a guy. I mean, we're talking about an every down player. Going in the middle of the 14th round, that is just sexy deluxe. You got to get up on that type of action.
All right, there it is. Once again, thanks for watching. I think we're going to give you some tight ends next, some deep tight ends.
Yeah, we haven't really broke into anything quarterback or tight end. You know, that's the type of shit you kind of just wait to get in as the season get closer, you know, because nobody's really itching to see who the fucking top 12 quarterbacks are, because everybody pretty much knows who the top 5 or 6 guys are. And after that, it's just kind of who you like at quarterback. But we will get into it. We will discuss some quarterbacks and some tight ends in the near future for you guys. Cheeseburger.